Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Dungeon Bowl Starting Rosters College of Death. So when this roster got dropped, it was very exciting for a whole bunch of undead players. It is basically the undead roster with some cool bits from Necromantic added in, and when I say cool bits, I mean all of it except werewolves. If you're looking forward to running werewolves, that's going to be over in the College of Beasts, but everything else undead, apart from vampires, because who knows what's going to go on with them, is in this roster here. And what we're going to do today is have a look at some 1 million gold piece starting rosters for you. So if you're going to be running a Dungeon Bowl league, if you're going to be picking up a friendly game, or if you're going to be starting to put together a competitive roster for a Dungeon Bowl tournament, for example, it's going to give you a really good starting point. Now, the rosters are all made up of mixed of teams. This one's only got 2 teams in, and it's got a very strong theme, and that means it should be one of the easiest to put together. So let's have a look at some example rosters for the College of Death. Okay, so the College of Death is a mixture of undead and necromantic teams. So we've got linemen 0 to 16 zombletons, that is zombies or skeletons. For this video, I'm going to refer to them as zombletons because they are the same price, but they do slightly different things. So it's going to be down to you to kind of choose which way you want to go. Now, in Dungeon Bowl, they've both massively got their advantages. And essentially, as we look through these different rosters, if you've got a lot of speed, you want the zombies there to take the punches. If you don't have a lot of speed, you want the skeletons there to kind of compensate. So it will be a case of seasoning to your taste. But this bit here is always good. So blitzers for this team, you get 0 to 4 wraiths or undead wights, and you can take any 4 of those too. So if you want to run 4 ghost demon dudes, go for it, you can. So that 4 foul appearance sidestep block pieces in Dungeon Bowl, where you're fighting in a corridor, it's a pretty solid potential. But what you can do is take your necromantic team and your undead team and run 2 of each. You can just pick up your human team and go, I quite fancy painting them as ghosts. 4 blitzers right there. So you've got a cool bit of variability there. And generally, as we look through the rosters, if you've got ghouls, you might be able to take the wraiths because you want that combat power, and you've got dudes with hands. You can flip it around a bit. Talking of ghouls, you can take 0 to 4 ghouls in this roster. I know that's pretty standard for undead teams. Our movement 7 and dodge is going to be really useful in a dungeon environment. Dodge is going to help keep them alive, and movement 7 covers a huge amount of the dungeon. You'd be really surprised at how fast that actually is. Now, movement 4, not quite as fast, but strength 4 is very tasty. Strength 4 stand firm in this environment is fabulous, and we've got 0 to 4 flesh golems for this roster. So the standard necro team only gets 2. This way you can pick up a couple of extra flesh golem models and run 4 strength 4 stand firm dudes, and it is a very cool bit of flex. Or you can go super heavy and have both of those undead mummies in this roster. So you can see we kind of got 2 packages when it comes to the College of Death. You've got a very flexible Blitzer ghoul mix there, Blitzer runner mix, or you've got the potential of 4 flesh golem blockers with 2 big mummies there. And we're going to have a look at a bunch of rosters now that kind of have a little bit of each to see just what you can do with this roster. And first up, we're going to look at the Blitzer mix. So 4 Blitzers, and this one comes in at 985,000. So not a lot of gold left over, but that's okay. We've got 5 Zombletons, and like I said, it's going to be down to you to choose which ones that you want. It depends on your playstyle. In this situation, I'd probably take 2 zombies and 3 skeletons myself. 2 ghoul runners gives you that speed, but it is centered. This roster is centered around having 4 blitzers. So if you've got 2 ghouls, you may not need all 4 white blitzers. You may want to flex out and have a couple of wraiths in there. You may go all wraiths to take advantage of that sidestep, because sidestep and block, great combination, because you're going to get punched. It's Dungeon Bowl, and not only are you going to get punched, but being able to sidestep exactly where you want to go is really useful, because you're going to be able to maneuver, to be able to put yourself in a situation to give one of your other players an assist, take away assists from them, get onto the ball carrier. So the wraiths in this environment are really good, but then again, the white is always a very solid positional. And this roster is backed up with 3 rerolls and 1 undead mummy as well. So the mummy, let's talk about the mummy. The mummy in Blood Bowl is really slow. 3 squares of movement tends to get it left behind. In Dungeon Bowl, that's not a problem, because at some point your opponent is either going to have to come to you, or you are going to be able to take the battle to them. 3 squares of movement isn't very fast, and even if you play with a time limit of 16 turns, like we would probably recommend, that's still a lot of squares. You will be able to cover basically enough distance that you want to with the mummy, but ultimately the mummy is there to be the goalkeeper. The mummy gets dropped with your initial team and just positions itself to be in a really great spot to just get in the way and to basically protect the goal. Being a goalkeeper is actually a really good way to describe the mummy's role in this situation. Any player that comes too close, you got a nice blitzing opportunity with Mighty Blow, but otherwise it just protects you from any kind of breakaways and allows the rest of your team to go off into the dungeon looking for the ball. But if 1 mummy is not enough, how about 2? And some other stuff too. So the max strength roster here is really fun. So College of Death, max strength 995, so 5,000 left over, so not a lot to do anything with. You got 4 Zombletons, 1 Ghoul Runner there. That's going to be your speed package, so probably looking at 3 Skeletons and a Ghoul to kind of make the most of the speed that you've got, because the rest of the roster is all about strength. We've got 4 Stand Firm, Regeneration Flesh Golems, Movement 4, Strength 4, and 2 Undead Mummies. This is a ton of strength, and it's a really cool thing that you can do with Dungeon Bowl. Now, you can deep strike those guys later on into the game, and hopefully you'll end up in the right place. I don't recommend it. What I recommend with this roster is your first 6 players are those 2 mummies and those 4 Flesh Golems, and you just set up a Bastion. Because Strength 4 Stand Firm, Strength 5 Mighty Blow is a really fearsome defense, and you are going to be able to position those players so that if your opponent gets hold of the ball before your reserves come in, they are going to have a very difficult time getting any kind of breakthrough. And that means that your Ghoul and your Skeletons that can be deep striking around the dungeon can hopefully get hold of the ball. Now, if you can't, what happens is that this team is just able to plod through the dungeons with the certainty of death itself. Golems moving through, undead mummies moving through. So if your opponent gets hold of the ball, you can kind of sweep and clear and envelop them where they've got the ball and annihilate them. So it's a slow, creeping death of a roster, but it is so strong and such a cool modelling opportunity. Let's say you prefer your death fast. We've got the max speed build here, 970, 4 Zombletons, 4 Ghouls, and 4 Blitzers. So the Blitzer mix is up to you, and you get 3 rerolls as well. So in this roster, you're missing out on all of your high strength. You've got no strength 4, you've got no strength 5. Can be a little bit debilitating in Dungeon Bowl, but what you've got here is a ton of speed. Basically, you start with all 4 Ghouls on the board and 2 of your Blitzers. You spread them out in the dungeon, making the most of movement 6 and movement 7 to get to those treasure chests as early as you can. Now, you've got this ability to double time it to the end zone. You get the ball, you can go in for a score nice and early, and you've got those extra Blitzers that are going to come in as well. And I do recommend that because you're going for a speed angle here, that you take Skeletons over zombies when it comes to your reserve linemen, because if they are dropping later in the game, like they will be with this roster, that move 5 is going to allow them to get to where the damage is a lot quicker, because this roster is all about getting to the ball quickly. And in some matchups it's going to be really effective because you've got 4 dudes with block, you've got 4 guys with dodge. You're going to be able to maneuver reasonably well and combat reasonably well. So against a team like the College of Shadows, this is still going to be able to outbash them, and you're going to be able to keep pace against other colleges like the College of Fire. Now, you do risk the chance of being outbashed by some of the heavier ones, so metal and fire will take you to town, but actually with this amount of speed, you've got a good opportunity to get in there and get a score nice and quick. Next up, we've got the 3 reroll mix. So the thing with this roster is it's your undead team and your necromantic team put together. So 3 Zombletons, 2 Ghoul Runners, 4 Blitzer mix here. So that's exactly what we're going for. You've got 1 box of necromantic, that gives you 2 wraiths. You've got 1 box of undead, that gives you 2 Blitzers. You put them together and you've got a fantastic mix of players. Then you add both the flesh golems from your necromantic box along with 3 rerolls, and you've got a really solid team here. Now, there's not one solid theme. There's not like, right, we're going to be all speed, we're going to be all bash. What you get is a couple of pretty light goalkeepers in those golems. Stand Firm Strength 4 is going to make it very difficult for some of those colleges to get good blocks against you, and if they do, that Stand Firm is going to mean that you get in the way. You've got 4 combat pieces there with those Blitzers. Good movement, good potential to get where you want them to be. 2 ghouls are going to be nice and fast as well, and a couple of reserves, and 3 rerolls to be able to really kind of capitalize on the opportunities when they come. I guess the thing to watch out for here is how you deploy. 2 golems first, 2 blitzers, and 2 runners. The runners go off seeking those balls. The blitzers, the ones that you deploy originally, go off to support the ghouls, and those flesh golems protect your end zone. And then everybody else just lands on through random teleporters, can explore, and then can kind of come together and form Voltron in the certain place where the action starts. But having those golems stops a quick score really easily, and then you can kind of creep them up through the corridors to bring them to where you need them to be. This is a pretty good match, pretty good mix of players for a Dungeon Ball match. And lastly, we've got the hard and fast roster. So 980,000 gives you 20k left over. 3 Zombletons, 4 Ghouls, and 4 Golems. So backed up with 2 rerolls. You can only afford 2 rerolls with this roster. Is that right? That is right. Okay, so the advantage of this is you get those 4 players with Stand Firm and Strength 4. Okay. Blockers in Dungeon Bowl are excellent. They are the best mid-range. They are your main battle tanks, okay? There's your medium tanks. They're your cruisers, because they have got enough speed to be able to redeploy with enough strength to be able to kind of outmatch linemen and blitzers. It's a really interesting mix here. But you still got 4 ghouls who can go for the speed build. So initial drop is all 4 of those golems and 2 ghoul runners. The golems take point of defense. You spread out through the dungeon using that stand firm and strength 4, while your ghouls run around trying to get those balls. Your later drops will be ghoul and ghoul. That movement 7 is going to be able to allow you to explore or maneuver to support the rest of your team. Now, the downside of this one is if your zombies or skeletons land too late in the game, you're not going to be able to bring them into the action because they are quite slow. However, this one gives you a good opportunity to maximize that speed with the ghouls to go after the ball nice and soon, and those flesh golems give you a pretty solid combat contingent that can kind of slowly get into there and win most fights. Okay, so that wraps up the College of Death rosters. I love this one. This one's just so much fun. Now, Dungeon Bowl gets close, stabby, brawly, and is pretty tough if you don't bring strength. 4 flesh golems and 2 mummies here is an incredible amount of combat power. You guys may have seen my College of Shadow games against the College of Fire. They've got 2 ogres, and that was a tough nut to crack. This roster goes bigger with 4 strength 4 blockers and 2 ogre people with the mummies. You've still got a movement 7 ghoul, and if those are 4 skeletons, you've got a reasonable speed detachment too. Now, the really cool thing here is that the golems, strength 4, like, that's awesome. Movement 4 isn't bad, and when you open a treasure chest, if it goes wrong, you're rolling against armor, and the golems with high armor and regeneration are pretty tough. Edge 4 isn't bad either, but if you open up the ball, you just pick it up. You don't even need to roll. So actually being able to explore the dungeon with a flesh golem, be reasonably safe if it goes wrong, and just have no downside of that low agility to pick up the ball, that means that this roster, you've got the opportunity to wander through that dungeon and pick up the ball with a mummy or a flesh golem, and just good luck to most teams trying to stop that from absolutely smashing face all the way into their end zone. I love it. College of Death max strength build, really exciting. If you're playing with a 1-ball standard format, this is going to be wicked. If you're playing with more, then more of a mixed build is going to give you that strength and flexibility. But I mean, I love the College of Death. It's wicked, and I'd love to play any of these rosters in standard 11s because I love mixed teams. Anyway guys, thank you ever so much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content, we get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.